Hello everyone, I'm Yinelnewt, also known as Arch Innocent, and I am hosting Match 3 of Vibing Kingdoms League of Legends tournament. We've been hosting a tournament for the past 2 weeks, and now we've made it to the second to last match between the Frog Bureau of Investigation and the National Pike Service, FBI versus NPS. To update everyone on the bracket, we have completed 2 matches so far. The initial match was NPS versus FBI, just like it is today. FBI won that series and made it to the match against the CDC. CDC defeated their opponents and have made it to finals. FBI have lost and have one more shot at making it to finals by rematching the NPS. Before we go on to discuss the game, I'd like to ask, why Enchanter? Enchanters have been very prominent in the tournament so far, and while we've only played a small number of matches, we do play best of threes, but there have only been 2 series so far. Enchanters have been at the forefront of every single draft. They have been highly impactful and warped the meta around themselves. Going on, Enchanters have many strengths that are self-explanatory if you've played a couple ARAMs and encountered them in your games. They have powerful healing and shielding. That is at the core of the Enchanter playstyle, is to support your teammates. And in addition, as Enchanters build more items, their sustain will get stronger over time. Their healing and shielding, whichever is applicable for the character you're playing, will get stronger. And in late game, when everyone's got 3+ items, and that happens very often in ARAM, then their sustain will be very powerful. Moving on, Enchanters also disrupt enemy engages. Part of their identity is not only supporting you, but disrupting the enemy. Enchanters don't necessarily force engages, although many of them are perfectly capable of doing that. But many Enchanter champions, like the 5 you see here, have some spell that can stop the enemy in their tracks. Next, Enchanters also have cheap items. Their items cost in the low 2000s, and so they can hit their power spikes faster than their carries or tanks do. Granted, they have lower income. In Summoner's Rift, they don't take farm, and they usually don't take kills. In ARAM, it's more haphazard, but they usually have lower income. Despite that, we have to recognize that their items are very cheap. And lastly, some champions can pivot into poke. They can build damage. This may not be very optimal, but it does give them some flexibility depending on what the team needs. In this tournament, we've seen plenty of AoE engages by Enchanters, and their spells have turned around teamfights single-handedly. These Enchanter engages can be follow-up stuns, or they can be the initiating stuns. On the left, we have a play from the CDC's Moonwoven Prince on Nami. Nami threw out her tidal wave and swept away multiple people in order to follow up on Best Agent Will's Yone ult. On the right side of the screen, we have a match between FBI and CDC, where Grey Mercury on the Seraphine managed to charm 4 people with the Seraphine ultimate. And so all 4 of those people get hard CC'd for an extended period of time. They're vulnerable to attacks and to other CC. And as you know it, FBI won that match. We're now working to get all 10 players into the lobby. And here we all are. I'll now ask the players how they're feeling, give them a quick reminder, and once all is said and done, I will, once everything is worked out, I will call for ready check. I've now asked the players to be ready. For today's match, we will not have move over prints for set 1 at least, and we will not have Victor TFT. There are a number of subs on both sides of the matchup. In any case, we have 10 players lined up in our lobby, and we're just moments away from the start of Champ Select. At it, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And we're off. The Froggies want side selection for game 1 of this series, and so they will start in blue side. Blue side gives them the benefit of first pick. Red side would give the NPS the benefit of counter pick. Aside from those drafting differences, the map is identical on both sides of the aisle, and that is because there are no jungle objectives or other structural differences like there are in Summoner's Rift. I'm interested in how pick ban turns out because the players have changed it around a bit, not having an exact rematch of... We're not having an exact rematch of the series from last week. Smolder and Victor have been taken away, and now Misfortune gets banned as well. Syndra hovered and removed. 2 mages in a row removed by the NPS. 2 ADCs removed by the FBI. The Froggies are thinking of their last ban for the first round. They could take away a mage. They remove Briar, a lifesteal skirmisher. Briar has no health regen. Instead, she attacks and lifesteals based on how much damage she deals. Sona hovered. Sona's a very powerful champion. She's had 100% presence so far this tournament. In round 1, she was picked both games. In round 2, she was banned all 3 games. And we continue the streak by banning Sona. FBI get the benefit of first pick. So who will they lock in? Could pick a tank, carry, a support. Rel gets hovered. She gets locked in. Rel is a repeat pick from last week, as Rel was chosen both games in the FBI NPS round 1 match. And Poppy gets locked in first. NPS have another pick to go. Red side gets the first duo pick of the game. And the Pike Service are thinking. They've got 15 seconds left. And they lock in Ornn. 2 frontliners get chosen. As these 2 tanks get picked, Poppy likely to counter the Rel engage. The Froggies could consider a few options here. They could pick some anti-tank carries. Xayah gets locked in. Zaya has good peel, meaning that she is able to keep herself safe. When she throws out feathers, she can walk backwards, and if you continue chasing Zaya, then she will recall her feathers and force you to dodge or get rooted by them. As she gains levels and builds items, the root will deal a lot of damage. And Rakan finishes the duo. First round of picks have finished for the Froggies. Now the Pike Service looking to finish their first round as well. Kindred locked in now. Kindred for Kindled Rainbows, I am guessing. Second round of bans. I'd mentioned this in a previous stream, but it is difficult to figure out who to ban in ARAM because you're not banning specific roles. You're banning for members of a team comp that would be good in ARAM. Unfortunately, there are many team comps that would be good because there are so many power picks. Ashe gets hovered, and she might get taken away here. And Jhin gets taken away instead. Swap one ADC for another, and they both get banned the same. Kayn now hovered and taken away. Kayn was locked in by the Pike Service last week. We're down to the last bans for both teams. Pike Service thinking. Pike Service could consider carry ban. And they take away Xerath. Xerath has excellent range. It lacks mobility. Now Evelynn gets hovered. If the Evelynn gets banned, it will be a target banned against the player Crucified Evelynn on the Pike Service. Now the second set of picks, the red side team, the Pike Service, will pick 1, while the blue side team, the Froggies, will pick 2. And then Champ Select will end with the Pike Service locking in the last pick of the entire map, the R5 counter pick. Orianna gets locked in. A control mage with great potential for wombo combo in ARAM, given the cramped nature of the map. Now Kai'Sa gets picked, a second ADC to join the ranks of the FBI. I wonder if Kai'Sa will build AP, or if she'll go crit, or a hybrid build. Nico gets locked in for the final pick. FBI, I note, have a lot of engage. They have strong pick given the mobile nature of their champions, and they can lock down multiple targets quickly and send in Rakan, Kai'Sa, Nico with Snowball. Brand gets locked in, the final pick for the Pike Service. We're now about 1 minute away until the lobby closes and we enter into the map. Because of recent changes by Riot, there is the possibility of disabling spectator delay for people who want to watch a match, and so we'll be able to enter the match immediately. FBI have lots of pick, with Kai'Sa ult, Rell engage, Rakan engage, and assuming Nico takes Snowball, Nico engage. Meanwhile, the Frogs have plenty of disengage. Poppy to counter any dashes, such as Rakan and Rell. Ornn to be another frontliner, standing up front. Kindred with the ultimate to prevent death, and Brand with lots of Brand and Orianna with plenty of AoE magic damage spells to toss out. These are the players. I'll attempt to show everyone's masteries. Everyone's looking pretty nice. Every player on this map has a skin for their champion. Looking at their summoner spells, we have confirmation Nico picked Snowball. Kaisa has Cleanse. I wonder how effective the Cleanse will be. Cleanse doesn't work for escaping knockups, which Poppy and Ornn specialize in. Kindred doesn't have any hard CC, only a slow. Orianna does have hard CC, but it is a displacement. And she also has a slow. And Brand has a stun on landing a spell and then hitting Q. Then looking at runes, Rakan has taken Guardian. Kaisa has Lethal Tempo. Zaya also has Lethal Tempo. And Nico has Electrocute. Rel has Aftershock. These runes can cause slight changes in gameplay, and League is a game of building small advantages into victory. So maybe the players know a lot more than I do about what they picked. We also see Kindred with Press the Attack. Ornn and Poppy both have Grasp the Undying. Orianna has Summon Airy, and Brand has the new rune. I believe that is Deathfire Grasp is the name of that rune. I don't take it very often. I'm bumping into some issues with my League client, but I'll reopen it very soon. I'm back viewing Champion Select. And the players have already started killing each other. Players are level 5. Looking at their items, we see that everyone has components, and Rakan goes in. Drunk Hat engages on 2 people, gets stalled by the Steadfast Presence, and now Rel jumps in to follow up that fight, making sure that the battle's not over just yet. The Feather Recall doesn't catch anyone, and Grey Mercury retreats with both teams not having killed anyone, but with multiple low players. And Demon Lord Micah jumps in with Poppy to get some more damage in. Drunk Cat claims that kill onto the enemy Poppy, and Kindled Rainbows walks away with low HP. Crucified Evelyn now frontlining, mostly healthy Ornn. And the Nico transforms, but the Roots doesn't land due to the Fire Breath. And Genetic Ivy taken very low, and Grey Mercury picks up a kill onto the Brand. A double kill goes over to Grey Mercury, with Poppy attempting to claim a kill in return, chasing after the Rakan, and eventually bops the Rakan with a Poppy Q. Orianna claims level 6 and uses the Shockwave to hit multiple people, and Grey Mercury zooms in with the Killer Instinct and gets a pentakill onto the Pike Service before falling to turret and giving a kill over to Orianna. And Kindred Rainbow again continues the fight by slaying Witchy Kirby. And now we get a look at everyone's items now that everyone, except for the Nico, has completed their first recall. Poppy has finished the Winter's Approach, and Kindred has completed Collector. And Kaisa has finished Kraken Slayer and Tier 2 boots thanks to those 7 kills. 5 of which were obtained in the past minute. Cranberry walks forward and dashes out in order to get to safety, dealing some damage and proccing Brand's passive on a couple players. Snowball lands onto the Poppy, who also gets snared, but Rakan doesn't end up taking the Snowball recast. Clone tanks some damage. When you have runes like Press the Attack, or when you have runes like Lethal Tempo, Conqueror, or Dark Harvest, you can actually stack them on clones like Nico, LeBlanc, Wukong, and Shaco. The problem, of course, is that you're not hitting the real champion, but you can stack those runes. And this can be important in very specific situations. The health relic for the pike service remains open, and Rakan goes in for an engage and then sneaks out without taking any harm himself. First health relic is picked up, and Demon Lord Micah interested maybe in the second health relic, but Cranberry walks away. The lowest health member so far is still pretty healthy. The snare comes out, and the Tangle Barbs don't hit anyone. Demon Lord Micah now stepping pretty far forward, and Crucified Evelyn behind with the Elderwood Ornn. Snowball lands onto the real Nico, but no one takes the snowball. And the Orbiana's orb now sits near the back of the wave. Demon Lord Micah avoiding some more skill shots, and Rel is now next to a pillar, with Brand landing some pretty mean poke at the moment. Health Relic gets grabbed, and no one has died or dropped very low. The snowball lands onto Brand, who then jumps far back, and Drunk Cat snaps onto the Poppy, and the Pop Blossom lands onto multiple people, and so does the Shockwave, which catches 4, but the Wombo combo from the Froggy seems like too much, and Crucified Evelyn has to flash out, but ultimately falls, and Zaya's feathers catch and get multiple kills, giving a triple kill over to Kaisa. Ace goes to the Froggies, and they claim first turret at 6 minutes and 26 seconds into the match. 13-8 in kills right now, with Kaisa being most fed. And I would like to see how both teams continue scaling. Genetic Ivy, very low. Kaisa dead now. Shutdown goes over to Kindred, and maybe a double kill. Triple kill goes over to the Kindred. Only person surviving right now, Rakan, now accompanied by Nico. And Kindled Rainbows avoids all damage. Throws out Wolf. Gets a little bit of damage off on the Nico. Chameleon Girl walks it off, though, and isn't really bothered by the damage from Wolf biting. Auto attack comes out. The Nico Q does some damage, and Rel throws her W engage onto the wave in order to help clear it. Rel now has the point-and-click stun, uses Q, gets pinned into the wall. Poppy killed by Nico Tangle Barbs, and now it is a 4v5 in favor of the Froggies. Frogs continue pushing forward while the NPS push back, and we're seeing the opposite playbook of what we saw last week in the FBI NPS match that occurred June 6th. Looking at everyone's builds, Kaisa has gone on hit. Some poke goes down. It lands onto the Pike Servicemen frontliners, though. Drunk Cat comes out and gets interrupted by the Steadfast Presence while the Magnet Storm hits multiple people. The Pop Blossom is also ready to catch 4 people as well. And Munchkin 3 claims a kill onto the Ornn. Double kill goes over to Kindred, though, who's looking for a triple and maybe even a quadra, as Witchy Kirby is alone and explodes to the Brand passive. But triple kill goes over to Zaya, and the Rebel with the feathers eventually makes it back to base and purchases some more items, claiming 2 components of Infinity Edge. As Kindled Rainbows moves forward, I wonder if they're interested in Execute, which will now be impossible as Ivy and Drunk Cat have arrived to the scene. Froggy secure the area, and Poppy walks forward pretty far, gets cut off from the rest of the Pike service. Ornn throws out a pillar, but it's not a whole lot. The Forge God comes out and knocks Ivy airborne. Snowball comes out as well, and now Oriana Orb flies over to shield Demon Lord Micah, as the Poppy is now looking to regenerate some health before the next fight. Kaisa's Void Seeker lands, does a little bit of damage. Kaisa does not have any magic damage items at the moment, unless you count the Rage Blade. Now, Nico Clone is able to pick up health relics, as it is considered a champion. It's just not the real champion. Wave gets cleared, and both teams thinking about how they'll play this next fight, with Nico turning into Kaisa. And maybe Nico will go for an engage where she transforms into a minion and tricks the Pike service into thinking that they're safe. Health relics grabbed by the Frogs. The far. Ivy moving really quickly right now. 2 snowballs thrown from the frogs, both miss. And now Evelyn way back there. Steadfast Presence blocks an engage while Flash and Pop Blossom ensure an engage, with Gray Mercury zipping into the back with the Killer Instinct. And shut down on Kindred goes over to Gray Mercury. Crucified Evelyn gets a double kill as the Orn proves too thick to handle and smacks around the 2 enemies while remaining low health himself. Witchy Caribbean Drunk Hat, the Zyrakan Lovers duo survive as the only members surviving of the frogs right now, and those 2 are clearing the wave and potentially looking for health relics to spawn. Looking at the items, players are currently at 1.5 to 2.5 items, with the most fed player on the map, Gray Mercury, having 2.5 items. Currently building, I think, Dusk and Dawn, given the sheen and the way the components are set up. Second most fed is Kindled Rainbows on Kindred. Flash comes out from the brand and now called the Forged God, thrown and hits the Nico clone, deters any engage from the frogs, and now the 2 teams face each other with not many ults available on both sides. Kindred, Poppy, Orianna on the Pike service, and no ults available on the FBI. I'd like to take a look now as Poppy gets engaged on, throws out the Steadfast Presence. It's a little late. The Keeper's Verdict knocks 2 people airborne, but there's no follow-up as Poppy gets too far away, and Kindred Rainbow's last respite protects 2 people from falling as Cranberry and Evelyn survive that fight. Now it is a 4v4 with both teams tied the number of people they have on board, and the personnel on the FBI are looking a little unhealthy, but looking to rectify that a little bit as they pick up a health relic. And same goes to the Pike service, piecing together their health bars to make sure that they can survive this next engage. Cranberry walks forward, possibly to execute, as the kill goes over to Rakan, who comes in with the quickness, and Kaisa comes in with the Killer Instinct, and Pop Blossom flies in as well. There's already so many R buttons pressed at the same time, and Poppy is able to run away fairly low HP and flashes to ensure that the snowball doesn't hit and no follow-up can land. Shockwave having been burned. Neither side has ults except for the Rel ult. Rel is walking forward, misses the stun on Q, and Orianna looking at the health relic as Ivy paces towards her. And Poppy manages to pin Drunk Cat against the wall and give the kill over to themselves, claiming the kill on to the enemy player. Now, Gray Mercury is pretty strong. Haven't finished Dusk and Dawn, and now has other components as well, possibly an Asher's Tooth. Demon Lord Micah goes in on Poppy, and the wave gets thinned out in favor of the NPS, as Cranberry looks to land more poke and lands a big brand W, throws out another fireball projectile as well, and gets some extra damage off on the frogs. Genetic Ivy goes in and catches 3 people with the Magnet Storm. Call of the Forge God lands and pins the Rel right up against the wall and gives a kill over to Kindred Rainbow, as 2 more people get hit by the Keeper's Verdict, but the Feather Recall lands on 2 and kills 1. The Quickness lands onto multiple people, but as it turns out, the Pike Service members are pretty tanky and healthy right now, able to avoid damage. Kindled Rainbows hops in for some little damage. The blue side minions now have all but disappeared from that wave. The second wave of recruits are coming up. The Void Seeker comes out, but only sifts between the gaps of the Pike Service members. Munchkin 3 possibly looking for another engage, but misses the snowball, which could have led to a big Pop Blossom. Zaya throws out even more feathers, and Gray Mercury now looking for some more damage with the Void Seeker. Doesn't land any at the moment. Health Relic gets grabbed. The next Health Relic will not respawn for some time. Demon Lord Micah goes in and throws out the Steadfast Presence, preventing further engage. Takes a lot of damage though, loses about 40% HP, and Ivy still stands at the forefront of the FBI's formation, while the members of Pike Service are moving back and forth. Munchkin 3 Pretty low HP, and Snowball lands by Brand, but will Brand take the Snowball? No way. The Snowball did land whatever burn item effect Brand has built, and Brand has both burn items, Blackfire Torch and Leandries. Most player with most kills right now is Kindled Rainbows on Kindred. The engage is blocked by the Steadfast Presence, and Brand is killed. Multiple people hit by the Ornn Ultimate, the Magnet Storm, and the Feather Storm. Both hit multiple people, but I don't see anyone stunned right now. And Poppy goes way deep, while Ivy goes also deep and tries to go for the Health Relic, but doesn't. And 4 people eventually fall on the side of the FBI. Ornn building items now, having hit level 14, and thus is able to upgrade his teammates' items. Kindred now going in for a kill, and pretty assuredly claims that and gets an ace for the Pike service. Lune on Orianna, possibly looking to execute, and eventually dies. Shutdown goes over to Xayah, as the execute timer is 23 seconds in ARAM as opposed to 13 in Summoner's Rift. Ivy gets in a bit of danger and lit on fire, loses most of their HP, and the Rel is almost dead. She eventually falls to an arrow shot out by Kindred, and Shutdown on the Kindred goes to Kaisa. Now 2 members of FBI get pretty low HP, and they are burning, and Demon Lord Micah now with the engage, has to back out of that engage, throws out a Poppy Q, and then flashes to make sure that none of the Froggies can hop forward. But now the Froggies are maybe not so deterred, despite the low HP Rakan and Kaisa. Their Nico and Xayah are pretty sturdy, and they have control of a health relic that they will give over to Drunk Cat's Rakan. Tangle Barbs don't hit anyone, and Poppy senses an engage with Ornn shooting out an engage onto the Nico, which does hit the real one, deals some extra damage, but otherwise doesn't lead to a bigger overall team fight. Tangle Barbs don't hit anyone, and the action in this game is pretty intense. Now, Void Seekers get tossed out. Looking at everyone's items, we're all well past the 2-item mark, with multiple people hitting 3, or in the case of Kindled Rainbows, 4 items. With poke coming out from both sides, and the Rakan W doesn't hit anyone, but Rakan gets engaged on, and Rel follows up as well, but the Lamb's Respite ensures that the fight lasts for just a little bit longer. Kindred tries to go in and get a kill onto Rakan, but it looks like Rakan slipped into the bush and was out of vision for just too long, and Sprite, Cranberry, and Lune have to both flash out, as Kaisa does die, cutting the damage potential of the Froggies, but Xayah is enough damage to take down that Burst Mage. Now Cranberry, all on their lonesome, goes in to help the defense, but Ace goes over to Xayah and Rel, the 2 surviving members of the Froggies, who have 3 minions, 2 casters, and a cannon to their name. Demon Lord Micah now, making sure the Xayah falls before the turret is taken, and now Rel falls as well, with Kindled Rainbows picking up another kill, and the turret still survives, though at very low HP. 170 HP. If you were an ADC at this stage of the game, one of your auto attacks would surely shoot that turret down. Meanwhile, Frogs, very healthy turret, 4700 HP. It will take a team-wide siege in order to actually tear that down. Both teams have now become refreshed, and Poppy has Canic Rootcurn built from a while ago, and Lune takes a lot of damage from that combined poke, and Grey Mercury snaps in but gets engaged on, and the Steadfast Presence prevents any further dash, and One Sprite Cranberry claims the kill onto Kaisa as Munchkin walks forward, possibly to engage, but doesn't have ult ready actually. Rel gets a big engage and stuns 4 people at the same time. Witchy Kirby in the back, looking for a good angle to enter this fight, but there's simply no way to fight back, as it's now a 2v5 with the Shockwave as the cherry on top in order to further damage the remaining members of the FBI. Turret possibly to fall now. Rel does have great peel though, and Xayah has a lot of great wave clear, but it evidently doesn't matter as the 2 members of the FBI have to retreat, as their members, now 4 strong, have respawned. And having finished for items. Kaisa has built the Gnasher's Tooth, and so those Void Seekers should be upgraded, and they should be packing a wallop should they hit anyone. Froggies looking for their next catch as they hop forward, and their health relic gets swiped, but at this stage, they are looking pretty healthy. Lune not so much on the Orianna. And Brand W actually does catch the Nico and deal about a quarter of her HP. The quickness comes out. Rel in the back with Magnet Storm, and there are multiple engages. Shockwave catches 3 and Call the Forge God. How many will hit? 1, 2, 3. 2 people get smacked by the Ornn. Now Kindled Rainbows is still alive, the main carry of the NPS in this match. One Sprite Cranberry walks forward and is on a killing spree. It is a terrifying thing if an immobile, fragile mage walks towards you, and they are not afraid of the danger that the Lovers duo right now have to offer. Lots of damage onto the wave as Bran melts that thing like it's nothing, and Orianna making sure that if Witchy Kirby walks forward, the Poppy attempts the kill but does not assassinate the lone ADC, as now the FBI's members are respawning with Rakan, trying to lead people on a wild chase right now, and the FBI will defend their Nexus. It is an open structure, but they have claims the kills they needed, and they will survive into the next team fight. With more items built, Xayah, 18 kills now, is the most fed member of the Frogs, while Kindred Rainbows at 20 kills is the most fed member on the map. For any upcoming team fights, Rakan doesn't have the quickness and Xayah doesn't have the Feather Storm, but Pot Blossom will come up very soon. This teleport coming in from Micah's Poppy does not put the Poppy in any danger, but the inhibitor now for both teams has been destroyed. And both teams will need to fend off against any dangers from the siege, as Poppy's steadfast presence prevents the players from running away. Xayah gets super low and gets taken out this early in the fight. The Lamb's Respite ensures that multiple people survive, and Cranberry walks back into the circle just in time as Grey Mercury is taken down, and the only person alive now is Drunk Cat's Rakan. Can he get an engage back? No. Double kill goes over to Kindred and seals the fate of the FBI in that team fight, as the Pike Service still stand 5 members strong, and they are marching down in order to hit the Nexus. Inhibitor for the Froggies, halfway done to respawning, but Crucified Evelyn and Cranberry are looking to simply end the game and ensure that there's no coming back for this one. The Froggies will have to wait for their next chance, and Game 1 goes over to the Pike Service. After a short break, we will get the players back into the lobby again, and we'll make it to round 2 of this series. At the moment, NPS lead the series 1-0. players are all getting ready. Now that we've completed our short break, we are assembling everyone, and we will determine if we are all ready in the next couple minutes. I hope everyone watching at home has been enjoying the tournament. I've enjoyed organizing and watching the games, and I've enjoyed interacting with all the players and making sure the tournament runs smoothly. As part of the rules for every tournament that Vibing Kingdom has hosted, we have a generous substitution rule where any players at all, even ones who come from eliminated teams, can participate in future matches by substituting in. The exact nature of the substitutions will be evaluated as things like player skill can vary, but the most important part is that we get all the players we need for our games. Additionally, had there not been enough players for a 5v5, we would have resorted to a 4v4 matchup and played out the series as is. Thankfully, both teams were able to come together and bring 5 players. Still waiting on players to get ready. But ultimately, it is the players who decide if the match starts. I'm simply here to witness their progress. For this stream and all the streams I've hosted as part of this tournament, these are the soundtracks that have been playing. The soundtracks belong to Riot Games' creator-friendly Spotify playlist, as they are all soundtracks made entirely in-house by Riot and authorized for use as soundtracks that content creators like streamers can use for their videos. I'm very grateful for Riot soundtracks, as they do make pretty good music, and they've lent out all of this music. Of all the tracks here, my personal favorite might be the 2024 World's Championship thing. That was personally my favorite World Championship to watch, and I managed to catch most of the knockout round matches, the best of fives, live. Currently, we're waiting on 2 players to get ready, 1 from each team. It looks like they've come back. I'm now waiting for all 10 players to indicate that they are ready. We'll start in 3, 2, 1. Blast off. Here we return to the familiar champion select screen. One of the most important parts of an ARAM match is the draft. And this tournament gives players the liberty to both pick and ban the champions that they want. This time around, side selection has changed, and so the Pike service take blue side while the Froggies take the red side. Blue side, once again, has the benefit of first pick. Red side has the benefit of final counter pick. Blue side also get to pick the final duo, while red side pick the first duo. Rel, Victor, Brands get taken away. Rel, we can see from last game, the Rel was pretty impactful. Ivy's Magnus Storms and Rel engages with W and Q both managed to do some mean numbers on the enemy team. And the same can be said for Brand. Victor's been taken away from the FBI, and Kindred removed so that the NPS cannot pick that champion. So far, 1 tank, 3 damage dealers have been taken away. 1 tank, 2 mages, 1 marksman. We're waiting on the final bans of round 1, and Sona gets taken away. Sona continues her streak as a 100% presence champion in this tournament. Her impact in games 1 and 2 of the initial FBI versus NPS series cannot be understated, as she died very few times across both games and was exceedingly impactful, allowing the Froggies to turtle under their turret and wait until it was too little too late to stop the scaling Sona. Misfortune gets taken away now, and that's 1 more marksman that the CDC don't have access to. Blitzcrank gets first picked by the NPS. And personally, I'm a fan of the chaos generated around this pick because it's such a polarizing champion. Blitzcrank's role is classified as a catcher, where he can grab people, literally, from far away, and then isolate them for easy pickings for his team. Only problem is, that is his whole gimmick, and while he does have other strong spells, the hook takes up most of his power budget, and he's got no more budgeting left for other amenities. Now Xayah gets locked in for the FBI. The player on Xayah last game performed very well, and was one of the main carries that drove the damage numbers last match. And the FBI will run it back. Currently thinking of their next pick, and Rakan gets locked in as well. The Lovers Duo return for the 2nd game in a row. And how will the CDC respond to Xayah Rakan again? I love it when teams draft these heavy CC team comps because it brings a lot of excitement, and Syndra continues the excitement as well with her Scatter of the Weak and her ability to execute on her ultimate once she gets enough passive stacks. Maybe seeing another bloodthirsty matchup as both teams refused to turtle under their turrets and instead fought non-stop throughout the entire game. We definitely had more kills in that match than we did in last week's FBI NPS series. Smolder now picked for Kindled Rainbows, and it's possible that Kindled Rainbows will be sticking with that champion. Orianna now picked, but this time for the NPS. She's changed teams, or this time for the FBI. Froggies, I believe, do have an Orianna player, and Orianna synergy with ball delivery systems like Rakan, Hecarim, Nocturne, Bai, all the champions that can guarantee that you engage on at least one person is incredible. That synergy's even been seen in pro play. Nocturne Orianna is a powerful combo. Nocturne dims the lights, it makes it hard to see close up, and then he also carries the Ori ball. Kayn now banned away. Jhin banned away, those are quick bans. Identical to the round 2 bans from last game as well. And for everyone watching at home, we are on game 2 of this series. The NPS lead the series 1-0, and because it's a best of 3, they're 1 heartbeat away from making it to Grand Finals. But the Frogs are not to be counted out as they've adapted their bans and taken away Ornn, preventing a repeat of last game's engages and last game's tankiness. I mentioned that Ornn can upgrade any legendary item in the game. In past seasons, he could only upgrade mythic items, and before mythic items were introduced, he could only upgrade special items that were handpicked by the developers. Now, Ornn can pick any legendary item. Nautilus has been banned. Ornn can pick any legendary item and give exactly 1,000 gold worth of stats to it. The stats will be distributed evenly across whatever stats the item gives. So for an item like Rabadon's, which only gives AP, all 1,000 gold would go straight to AP, while for more diversified items like Dusk and Dawn, it will be spread out across all of the stats that the item gives. Now Veigar gets picked. An infinite scaler to match infinite scaler. Smolder versus Veigar. With Veigar's pick, the Froggies have a lot of hard CC at their disposal, and all that hard CC is AoE, and Scion gets locked in for the NPS. I looked at stats websites earlier today, and I believe Scion may be the highest win rate champion in ARAM right now. This patch is pretty new, and the numbers are based on this patch, which has been out for, I think, 3 days. And Scion remains the highest win rate champion in ARAM. Now, we'll see if he pays dividends in this game mode. Aurora now locked in as the final pick for the NPS. Bike Service have a lot of disruptive spells on their side. Scion, Q, and ults. Aurora ults. Syndra, Scatter the Weak, her E. And Blitzcrank, Hook, and ult. Now Cho'Gath gets picked. Both teams get their infinite scaling tanks. And looking at both rosters, both teams also have infinite scaling carries. So there are 4 infinite scalers in this lobby. Between these two teams, which team do you think has the better drafts? I gotta say, both of them look pretty respectable. The Froggies, I feel, have the most accessible team to play, while there is some level of execution that needs to be pulled off for the Pike Service. So blue side team is the Pike Service. Blitz, Syndra, Smolder, Scion, Aurora. Red side is the FBI. Cho, Ori, Xayah, Rakan, Veigar. We'll see. Will ease of execution win, or will superior execution win? Maybe they're the same thing. I can't see the future, and neither can you. But we can see the present and watch this match. Here's everyone's masteries. I was able to show mastery last time because my client crashed. I wonder how effective Window would have been in this team comp. Who would you have replaced? Would you have gotten rid of Cho'Gath, Scion, Blitzcrank, Rakan? Would you have taken away one of the carries from Window? Both teams have a 2 frontliner, 3 carry team comp. It's amazing how much they mirrored each other. And seeing everyone's purchases, got two Guardians items on the side of the Frogs, 1 on the side of the NPS. Both teams out. The first hook's been thrown, and the grab lands on a Gray Mercury's Orion, who has to flash out to safety. And the Frogs get hit by the Veigar cage. And Crucified Evelyn walks it off, but not without Veigar getting a stack of phenomenal evil power. Another stack to him. 2 for 2. Munchkin 3 is living rich right now. He's hoping to get some more stacks, the little Veigar. 3 stacks now, and the Blitzcrank hook doesn't hit anyone. Rocket grab misses. Cranberry face checking the bush with Aurora's spells, but doesn't catch anyone with that. Veigar cage, 1 stun, no follow-up. I think the quickest way for this game to become bloody is if Blitzcrank starts landing more hooks. Till then, we'll have to wait until people hit level 6, or we get some freak CC engages from Veigar, Cage, and Rakan W. And Blitzcrank doesn't land the hook. Scatter the Weak hits 3 people and shoves them away. So far, no first blood yet. Blitzcrank managed to squeeze out of that. Robots. Maybe they're able to be. Maybe they're able to just push themselves into those little gaps. And Blitzcrank sitting in the bush now. Xayah Ready to clear the wave, and Witchy Kirby takes a lot of damage from the electrocute as Hook lands an uppercut, throws Ivy airborne. Cage disrupts the formations of the Pike Service as Micah goes in, ready to throw another uppercut. But I don't know if the Blitzcrank's got another rocket grab. Both teams playing it a little cautiously as the FBI gain level 5 first. All 5 of Pike Service members in unison hit level 5. Now, Ivy, Munchkin throwing out their stuns, but don't hit anyone with the CC. All the Munchkin has stacks more. And 15 stacks now on the Vagar, equating to a total of 73 AP. Health Relic in the back gets grabbed while Smolder is slowly stacking at 125 stacks of passive, which Smolder gains by landing hits on enemy champions with Q or by last hitting minions with Q. Smolder needs to stack in those ways. Sprite Cranberry looking for more poke, and the Xayah gets pretty vulnerable now. But once Smolder hits 125 stacks, his Q Fireball becomes an AoE. Hook manages to land on the Witchy Kirby, and first blood goes over to Scion. Crucified Evelyn claims the first kill of Game 2. And now the Pike Service want more, but no Scattered Leak gets tossed down. Drunk Cat leaps to the other side with the portal here on Koshin's Crossing. Evelyn taking some damage, but the Scion doesn't seem to mind and gets a shove off as Drunk Cat. Now Grey Mercury vulnerable, and Demon Lord Micah manages to get the kill with the grab. Witchy Kirby then gets a kill in return, and you don't want to give the Xayah too much momentum, and she picks up a double kill now. Flash, engage for using the quickness, lands onto multiple members of the Pike Service, and triple kill goes over to Witchy Kirby's Xayah. And now Rakan gives over another kill to Xayah, and that adds up to a quadra kill, giving Witchy Kirby a very comfortable position in this game. Now is the most fed player on the map. All 4 kills of FBI go over to the Xayah. Both teams are now waiting for their next move as Orianna shows her face but walks off. Micah looking for the engage on the Blitzcrank. Default skin Orianna, default skin Blitzcrank. 2 robots. An engage lands onto Micah as Rakan uses the Hex Gate in order to escape, and the escape is no longer as Aurora's ultimate catches the entire FBI. Double kill goes over to Smolder, who sneezes out a little fireball, and a third kill goes out. Now 2 members of FBI are alive, both very unhealthy, as Munchkin is low HP but doesn't get hit by the Blitzcrank hook, but the Aurora flash spell does land and gives Aurora a double kill. With the items coming in, Xayah has finished her first completed item and upgraded boots. And now Drunk Cat goes in, and Xayah picks up a kill onto the Smolder. Evelyn looking to engage on using the Scion Q, but it gets disrupted, and the second Scion Q doesn't hit Rakan, but Cranberry is on a killing spree as Orianna falls again, and Cho'Gath shouts to make sure that Cranberry doesn't escape unharmed. Pike Service looking to clean up the map a little bit as they do have a 5v4 numbers advantage, but the remaining member of FBI respawn, and some extra poke goes out, a hook goes out, and Ivy has to use the Hex Gate to escape danger as the Smolder ultimate lands on multiple people, but not the low health ones, but Smolder's Q does lop itself onto the Smolder, or it does lop itself onto another carry, and double kill goes over to Smolder. Grey Mercury gets a kill, and now Orianna has to run away from the double carry fight. Lune now on the run, floating away, and Syndra escapes the engage range of the Xayah. With the Frogs picking up their front health relic, the Pike Service have access to their rear health relic. Health relics regenerate HP on contact, and once the circle finishes, Hook lands onto Drunk Cat, who now has to walk away to safety. and uses the Hex Gate to ensure that he doesn't get engaged again. Rakan makes it to shelter. Rakan has the Ori Ball now, and Orianna does have Shockwave active, so that's super important. The two ultimates come out from NPS. One kill so far, as the Orianna Shockwave in retaliation eventually leads to a kill, and the Featherstorm comes out. Aurora looking for more. She's revealed her face, and she manages to snipe two people with Scatter of the Weak landing onto a third, and Smolder looking to pick up another kill. Number 4 goes over to the Pike service, and Witch Kirby survives out of all that, but they're not looking very healthy, and that Xayah, she is not long for this world. Maybe in the next team fight she might fall. Crucified Evelyn might also fall in this next team fight, having used the Unstoppable Onslaught to charge into the enemy team, and Munchkin burns, and the Rocket Grab manages to kill the enemy carry as a Flash Engage fails, with Scatter of the Weak disrupting the enemy ranks. Cranberry dashes out, and Drunk Cat manages to disrupt things a little bit with a snowball landed on a Scion, but ultimately doesn't recast it. And Witcher Kirby getting healthier and healthier. Rear health pack not available, the front health pack just grabs. Micah grabs the Rakan, who can maybe dash out of this, but instead dashes in, and the quickness dives into the heart of the CDC as Ivy claims a kill onto the enemy Scion, tank killing tank, and Micah is looking for another grab, but barely misses that grab. As the two teams now pacing back and forth, looking for the next fight. Ori Ball now sitting at the very center of the screen, and Shockwave is active, so if anyone steps forward, they will get hit. The multiple members of FBI land their hits onto Aurora and take her down, giving a shutdown over their carries. And Kindred Rainbow forces a flash out of the enemy Orianna, who would have been burned to a crisp at Smolder's flames. And Smolder now with lots of kills, possibly looking at their next recall with Scion. Gets ready to hit Demolish, and the Scion lands it onto that turret, and Kindled Rainbows lands a kill onto the Rakan. Gets busy stacking, and Kindled Rainbows at 126 stacks already. So Smolder has hit the first breakpoint before the first turret has even collapsed. So I mentioned 125 is when Smolder gets the AoE Fireball on Q. At 225, his Fireball gains his Execute. And the Execute gets stronger, and the Q power gets even stronger as the game goes on. So you don't want to make the game stall forever against a Smolder. Thankfully, the Frogs planned ahead of time, and they've got two Infinite Stackers on their team, Cho'Gath and Veigar. Cho'Gath scales with HP, Veigar scales with AP. Guy of the Week, Syndra Q, land on a couple people. Froggy's looking a bit healthier than their blue side counterparts, and Aurora going in for some more wave clear. Kills a couple minions, and Smolder's little sneezing fireball hits a couple people, gets poke off. And the two teams are right back to where they started, with no hard engage just yet. Rakan's the quickness hasn't come up yet, while all five of NPS have their ults ready, and NPS managed to get multiple people with those two engages, and the cross between worlds catches a lot of people. Crucified Evelyn gets a kill, and now 3 members of the Frogs are surviving but not looking very healthy. They would have to land some pretty hard CC in order to get out of this mess. And Drunk Cat flies back, but Grey Mercury flies forward thanks to the grab. And another kill goes over to the NPS. Still standing 5 people, but these 5 might be thinking of retirement soon. The years hit you, and the Rocket Grab also hits you, as Munchkin gets a kill, but Kindled Rainbows also gets it back. Ivy now looking to spearhead a new engage, and the Smolder is caught. Cho'Gath doesn't have his feast, and the Syndra ult does not kill the Xayah, and Xayah persists despite the actions of the Smolder, who falls, and Crucified Evelyn gets low and avoids the Cho'Gath knockup. But that's a health relic that you can't pick up now as an NPS member. And just as Scion had demolished, so too does FBI, but the Xayah will simply take out the turret with no recourse from the Pike service. Looking at both teams' items, Zai is the most fed with 13 kills on this map, and 10 kills for Smolder is the second most fed. So Smolder is the second most fed at 10 kills, Zai is most fed at 13. Ivy comes in, and it looks like they use Feast, but the Cho'Gath doesn't manage to gobble up the opponent quite yet. The finishing blow has to be dealt by another move. And Aurora's ultimate, again, deals so much damage that the Kindred ultimate layers on top of it, gets 4 kills now, with the 5th and final one coming from Cranberry's Aurora, and triple kill goes over to the Skirmisher Burst Mage. Ace goes over to the Pike Service. Pike Service, 5 strong with a wave pushing behind them, and they are able to deal some damage onto this red side turret. FBI's members come up, and the Froggies are not out just yet, as Scion is another infinite stacker here, and is not all too bothered by the Scatter of the Weak, and the Vagar Cage almost catches the Kindred, Kindled Rainbow's Smolder. Rakan goes in using the quickness, but I'm not sure if Rakan will catch anyone. No one gets charmed by the Rakan ultimate, and that's one big engage you don't want to lose. Especially with Ori Ball coming up, and Cranberry's on a rampage as they're now seized, but the Scion makes sure that this is not unrequited, and Grey Mercury, now tagged by a snowball, has to walk away, as there's no safe place for the Robot Mage to walk, especially when you're in engage range of a Syndra with E up. And the Syndra ultimate throws out all those little dodgeballs and makes sure the Orianna is taken down, giving the final kill over to NPS, who will now take their second turret and possibly an inhibitor, with the FBI respawning soon, and I'm sure Orianna's looking to get some revenge, as Vagar comes in and claims a kill onto the Syndra, with Smolder picking up yet another kill this game. The Rakan W doesn't quite catch, but if Ivy were to land enough hits, then this Smolder is done for, and the baby dragon is sent back to daycare as Scion dies in the back line, and Micah has to run as there are no allies other than the Aurora to assist. And I don't know if Aurora can fend off against the full might of the FBI here. Micah has to run away, and the prediction Q lands onto Aurora. Smolder, or Cho'Gath, gets lots of CC, and that is a big root and a big shockwave, with a now follow-up quickness by Rakan leading into a W, forcing Lune to burn the flash on Syndra. And Cho'Gath walks off the turret shots. Grey Mercury takes some damage, and Unstoppable Onslaught comes out once again. Scion charges in, doesn't smack at anyone and send them airborne, but does send a signal out there. At the moment, FBI are 5 people strong, and they are staring a enemy turret in the face. Cho'Gath takes a bite out of a minion and gobbles it up. Vagar still landing some poke. Vagar has 459 AP right now, with 157 stacks of the Vagar passive. Witchy Kirby is pointing out that Aurora is alive, and this Aurora has done quite a bit of damage to the Froggies this game. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed by Cranberry. This will be their first series in the tournament, as the NPS had different representatives for last week's match. Micah stepping forward and throws out a grab, but doesn't grab any champion. Ori Ball currently sits on the Cho'Gath, and we might expect this Ori Ball to change hands or even just sit in the middle of the map, like it is right now. Gotta watch out for AoE teamfight ultimates like that one in a map as cramped as ARAM. Looking at everyone's items, Aurora has 3 completed items, one of which is Malignance. I gotta say, the Aurora ult, the Between Worlds, has been very successful. Cho'Gath gets grabbed and loses about half of his HP, with Rakan coming in for a counter engage and leads many people to be distracted, as Cranberry gets a kill but falls in the meantime, and Smolder here is looking to clean up 234 stacks. Smolder has access to the execute passive at 16 minutes this game. Drunk Hat goes in to distract, and Witchy Kirby gets taken down by the Syndra ultimate before the turret claims the kill back and ensures that the NPS don't have as clean of a team fight as they might expect. With these turrets under siege, it's possible that 1 or even 2 of the FBI's turrets will fall. And Gray Mercury has respawned. The Oriana throws out a mean shockwave against two people. That might be big, as Scion is busy autoing the turret, but importantly, Scion passive doesn't deal damage to turrets anymore as of a few years ago. And now the Froggies are looking to bounce back this match and get some kills of their own as Ivy gets exhausted by Blitzcrank, who then pulls him back and sinks in a mean uppercut, but Blitzcrank might be dead. The robot uses the Hex Gate to escape, and their escape might actually be finalized. Nope, the Cho'Gath knockup ensures that Blitzcrank remains ever in danger, and he grabs Drunkhat's Rakan, but Micah walks it off, and Ivy does not use the Cho'Gath Feast. Munchkin taking a lot of damage and is now pretty low. The Vagar has to flash out, and the Rakan has taken the brunt of that smolder, fiery goodness, and Cranberry uses the Between Worlds to kill one target, turning invisible, and now Ivy has to face the consequences of the NPS growing so strong, and another kill goes out, and this might be a 5-0 ace, with Witchy Kirby having to run away, and Aurora still hunting for her prey. The Xayah will gain her Featherstorm very soon, and the inhibitor respawns to give the FBI some breathing room as their final Nexus turret is getting sieged, and the Xayah Featherstorm comes out with the recall not catching any members of NPS, and the Nexus is getting sieged, but the Nexus explodes, and NPS take this series 2-0. Congratulations to them. They have a date with Destiny, meeting up with the CDC tomorrow. So congratulations to the NPS. Pike Service have served us proudly, and the FBI, while they fought valiantly, will have to retire their colors for this tournament. We'll give the players a short break, and then I will conduct the interviews.
The stream has been brought to you by Los Polos Hermanos. Taste the family.
Well, it's a pleasure seeing you. We have concluded our series, and I will soon conduct interviews with the players. So, in just a little bit, I'll give them a break, and then I'll meet up with both of them. Hey guys.
Hello.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for playing in the tournament. You guys fought hard. This will unfortunately be the end of the Froggies run and the ARAM tourney, but yeah, again, I'd like to thank you guys for participating because this is a big undertaking to spend so much time playing it. Anyways, I'll try and keep the interview short because people have other plans. And so, my first question for you guys would be, what would you say was the highlight of the tournament?
Draken's Penta.
Yeah, I feel like we both had crazier moments in game one of that game, and we just. I'm not gonna say who. Kaisa ulted into 5 people at the end of the game randomly, and we lost the game. I don't know who did that. But I feel like that game was kind of gnarly. Um,
That game was pretty
That's a good
intense.
battle. Held out a good time.
Game 1 today was pretty intense, and I loved casting it and watching it. So I gotta give it to you guys. And aside from that, moving forward, would anyone be interested in subbing in for tomorrow's match if there are any player gaps?
if I'm around, I would not mind, but
Okay.
I don't
Same.
know tomorrow night.
Okay. Understood. Yeah. For this match, obviously, the team has two substitutes who you've seen a lot this tournament already. And they have played in more games than one might expect of the scheduling.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back.
Oh, we doing the review?
We're hosting the interview, and I'll try and keep it short because people have other plans.
Yeah.
Well, I've asked, what's the highlight of the tournament for everyone? And I've also asked if anyone might be available as a substitute for tomorrow.
Yeah, I can.
Okay. And what would you say is your favorite part of the tournament, having played in 3 separate series?
My favorite part of the tournament so far?
Yeah.
Oh,
Like just as a player, like what's been the most enjoyable thing for you?
honestly, I really enjoyed our first game. Cause like, I don't know, it was just like, I was doing a comp that like we haven't done before, like as a group, and like we did it. It was really good, and I don't know, I just really enjoyed it.
Yeah, that was so fun.
Yeah, that initial comp, I gotta say, seems magical.
It is.
I can't believe yeah. I can't believe we let the Kindred through.
I had fun the first game, for sure. Not enough snacks the second one.
Anyways, I'll wrap up the interview here, and yeah, the FBI had a great run this tournament, making it all the way to match 3. So,
Ah.
I'll leave you guys to it. Hope you guys have a
Alright.
nice rest of the weekend, and I'll see you.
Yeah, have a good night, man.
Yeah, just at me. Just at me if you need someone
For sure.
for tomorrow.
Same.
It's always a little difficult for me to say farewell to the players as part of their exit out of the tournament, but in a competition, there can only be one winner. At least in this competition. And because of the bracket format, the FBI lost against the CDC last week, and now they've lost against the Pike Service this week. And with 2 KOs, they have been knocked out of the tournament. I'll now conduct the winner's interview with the members of NPS. Hey there. How's it going, guys?
Hello.
Well, congratulations on defeating your opponents, and you guys have made it to the finals.
Yeah.
Hooray!
It's getting later in the night, and I know people have other plans, so I'll try to keep the interview short. Starting off, what do you guys think went well in today's matches? You won both games, and I'm guessing something, a thing or two had to go right.
Good engage, champs. The first game with Poppy really shut down their engage
Huh?
against the Rel and the
Yes. Sorry,
Recon.
1 second.
Like, a good pick there. We just had tank, and then we had good
Yes,
game.
Clayton.
I would say.
Yep.
I got your ass.
You guys had plenty of good engage, so I gotta give it to you for drafting the right champions. And what would you say was the overall draft philosophy? Like, was there a vision you had for the draft, or did you just pick random champions?
Damage. We tried to do 2 tanks. Usually, we did it in the first round and then the second round. And then we draft accordingly to their team.
We could also say we were being mean too. Yeah.
You guys were being
Took a look at the
mean.
We
profile
were
and said,
a little bit mean.
Yeah, that is actually one of the main things we did. We focused, from what we learned about last time we played them, to focus on who to ban. We did not want to deal with that Victor again.
That was rough.
Yeah, as it
was
turns out, their
terrible.
Victor player wasn't actually present for today's match. Victor TFT.
Oh, either way.
I was
Oh
not
yeah, that's true.
I was
It
not
was-
taking that.
We was not
I
taking that
didn't
risk.
realize.
Neither did
Yes.
I. All I knew was I did not feel like being put into a slow field and
Okay,
stunned.
that was a ban that was needed to
That's all I
make.
do. That's
Yeah.
all I do.
I could start their red.
But that's
No.
similar to all our other band philosophies there. Sona was a good band due to how it was played last time.
For those of you who played in last week's series against the FBI, looks like you really learned and adapted to your opponents. And I think that's part of the advantage of a double elimination format, is you face the same
What's
team
Laner doing?
twice.
I should have known. And this
Anyways, my next and last
Yeah.
interview question is... I'll try and cook up a good one. Last interview question will just be a general question. Next week is Clash. Do you guys enjoy playing Clash?
I never played it.
Yeah.
Alright. We have one who never played Clash, 2 who enjoy it.
I've played it.
And are your thoughts on Clash good, or is it not
Yes,
great?
I like the fact that I can get that little banner and have it.
The banner is a nice cosmetic.
They took my red buff. This is just such a rough start to the game.
I killed Riven level 1. As an Orin. I find that hilarious.
Well, as a reminder that Clash is next week. It starts on June 20th. It runs for 2 days, the 20th and the 21st. And given given that the previous Clash was a Summer's Rift Clash, the one coming up will be an ARAM Clash.
Yes.
So if you guys are interested in ARAM Clash, then it starts 7 days from now.
I see.
And with that reminder, I'd like to wish you guys best of luck as everyone performs in the Grand Finals, which will start tomorrow at the same time of day. So 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I've now concluded all the interviews with the players, and we have wrapped up today's series, FBI versus NPS. The FBI, the Frog Bureau of Investigation, fought valiantly against the National Pike Service, the NPS. Both teams drafted very intelligently and adapted their drafts to their knowledge of their opponents. They also adapted the drafts to how the series would proceed, with adaptations like Rel, Ornn, getting taken away, Kindred as well. Ultimately, the Pike Service stand triumphant, winning 2-0, and will now meet up with the CDC tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The two teams will play another best of 5 on the ARAM map, and the winners will get $5 of RP each. I hope to see everyone there, and I hope all the players can enjoy a fun tournament as we wrap up this series to a close. I'll see everyone tomorrow.